All right, so I got a little bit of positive news for everybody here. Perhaps this is a little bit shocking. GOP-dominated Maricopa County Board unanimously certifies election results. Trump predictably complains. So, look, make no mistake about it. This is snubbing Kari Lake, who's been out there day in and day out trying to raise doubt about the election, effectively trying to argue it was stolen, it was rigged, we can't allow it, we need to re-vote, we need to recount, we need to do something, anything to try to stop this. This Republican-dominated Maricopa County Board said, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. We did the election. We did it properly. We counted it right. We know the results. We are now certifying this thing. Now, my understanding is that there may be one area of Arizona that is siding with Kari Lake, but that ain't going to be enough to get what she wants, which is basically forcibly install her as governor of Arizona. So here's what they say in Mediaite. The Republican-heavy Maricopa County Board of Supervisors voted unanimously on Monday to certify the 2022 midterm election results after a wild hearing. Bill Gates, no relation, a former election lawyer for the Arizona GOP, who now serves as chairman of the Board of Supervisors, blasted some of the allegations leveled against the county board before calling to certify the results. Quote, the integrity of my colleagues up here and on the dais and the integrity of Stephen Richer were questioned over and over and over again, Gates began, adding, and I know this is not my seat, this is the people's seat that I sit in, and one day I won't sit in this seat, but while I'm sitting here, I'm going to defend the integrity of these 5 men. During the open hearings earlier in the day, election deniers blasted the election, which saw the GOP lose the governorship, a U.S. Senate race, the Attorney General race, and the Secretary of State's race. One woman spoke before the board and called for their execution. So they had like a public hearing on this thing. There were videos floating around Twitter of it. It's just one person more psychotic than the next. People with mental health issues who are up there talking about how their kids were taken from them and people need to stand up and do the right thing. People calling for execution of people who certify the election just because they don't like the results of the election. I mean, these people are gonzo. And by the way, again, I think this needs to be reiterated. The candidates who snuggled up the most to Trump, the candidates who leaned in the most to the 2020 election was stolen, those candidates got draxed. They got their cheeksies waxed. They got destroyed. The more quote-unquote normal Republicans fared a hell of a lot better. So, but okay, I mean, if you guys want to keep showing this ugly face to the world, there will be consequences to that. Now, again, I will say, I'm happy, I'm ecstatic that you have these Republican officials who are upholding the election. Because remember, 53% of the Republican candidates running for office in the midterms denied or questioned the results of the election. So there was a real question mark. Hey, maybe some of these people are going to go mask off and they're going to try to steal elections and it's going to be ugly. But they didn't. The only one who really questioned it was Kari Lake. Even fucking Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania, who lost the governor's race, even he conceded. And this guy was one of the leading people who was conspiracy theorizing about the election and was at January 6th. So honestly, the numbers are phenomenal. It's only like Trump himself and Kari Lake who are dumb enough and idiotic enough and pathetic enough and embarrassing enough to still go out there and say, no, I've actually won. The woman who called the board's 7 members traitors to the United States Constitution and baselessly accused the board of election crimes and said that not certifying the machines constitutes a form of interference. She went on to say that the board's treason is punishable by the death penalty. Notably, the GOP did well in House races in Arizona in the midterms, where many Republicans outperformed the Trump-backed candidates running statewide and promoting allegations that the 2020 election in the state was stolen. Quote, you can think what you want about me, but these are good men who are in public service for the right reasons, and I am proud to serve with every single one of them. Again, this was not a perfect election, but it was a safe and secure one. The votes have been counted accurately, and I thank everyone for their attention today. And with that, I would entertain a motion. Gates, one of the 4 Republicans on the board, concluded, quote, Mr. Chairman, I would make the motion that we approve the November 8th, 2022 Maricopa County general election canvass, and I ask for a vote, said Supervisor Steve Gallardo, the only Democrat on the board. Quote, all right, thank you for that motion. Do we have a second? I'll be happy to second the motion from the Supervisor Gallardo. All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No. All in favor? Please say aye. All opposed to the motion? Thank you very much, everyone. This meeting is adjourned, blah, 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 blah. You guys get the gist of it. So Trump sees that this happened and can't help but remind everybody how tiny his pee-pee is. And so he chimes in. Well, apparently somebody in the audience yelled to nullify the results as they were approving the results. So Trump goes on Truth Social and says, the Maricopa County supervisors are far worse than the Democrats ever were. The only question is, why? And he's sharing a Gateway Pundit article, which, by the way, is like, this is the least accurate so-called news site on the entire internet. Breaking, corrupt Maricopa County supervisors vote unanimously to certify rigged 2022 election. Let me ask these guys a question. People remember, right, that Arizona had what was called an audit of their election after the 2020 presidential race. People remember that, right? They did this whole big thing and took a whole bunch of money, funding, and people, manpower, all this stuff. They did a whole recount of the entire election. When they audited the election, they found not only did Joe Biden win, he actually won by a little more than we thought he won by on election day. So they just act like that didn't happen, that doesn't count for reasons X, Y. They just ignore it. It's whatever the fuck their position is. That's it. They believe it like an axiomatic truth, like a law of nature. They will not change their mind no matter what evidence you present to them. And now they're doing the same bullshit here. When a Republican board approves the election, that means, yeah, the election's donezo. If it was a Democratic board approving it, it's donezo. But no, God forbid we have a situation where they claim everything is rigged and it's a Democratic board, then they're really going to lose their fucking minds and say, these guys weren't counting the votes right. So anyway, that's what's going on. I'm sure Kari Lake is shitting bricks too and flipping out. But look, you got to keep it real, man. It's a good day for American democracy, because I was starting to believe, genuinely concerned that some large chunk of the election deniers will get elected and they will have control of these elections, and they'll just ignore results they don't like and prop up the results they do like. And that gets really dangerous really quickly. That gets into, developing nation, banana republic type shit very, very quickly. And so, unironically, it's positive that this happened. And this Bill Gates guy, no relation to the other Bill Gates, very brave of him as a Republican to basically stand up against the nonsense and say, hey, fuck you guys, we're doing the right thing. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0